welcome to the VSC, the Sundragon Sideshow virtual shopping channel.
It's Wednesday! And we're wearing masks in the shop when we're not filming. For everyone's protection, as our circles get wider, and numbers are still going up in North Carolina. So, hi everybody! Welcome to the Sundragon Sideshow. Sundragon, hello. Ta-da!
Ooh, it's light blue.
I'm wearing light blue today. Y'all know you can get one of these. Contact us in the comments. I'm Rebecca. I'm the owner of Sundragon Art and Fiber in Brevard, North Carolina.
I'm Liz. I'm the minion at Sundragon Art and Fiber in Brevard, North Carolina.
And Wednesdays are the day that we showcase some things we have in the shop, in case y'all might be interested. And then I go home, and if there's time, I try to put them on our online shop. So most of these, if not all of these, are things that aren't there yet, that we will try to get there. Excuse me.
We had several ideas.
Yeah, we kind of walked in this morning going, what are we doing today? I don't know. And while I was at the post office delivering packages that all y'all who needed one, hopefully we'll get soon. Liz was brainstorming. She had two ideas. One we might keep on a back burner for another time, baby stuff. If you have baby yarns, if you're interested in what we have in the shop, that's baby yarns. We're still planning that because I don't know how much sample stuff we have to show you what it looks like knit up. So I'm percolating on that. Instead,
we decided to do some quick knit yarns. Bulkies, where you can make a smaller thing. Mm-hmm. Like, so if you have to make up Christmas stuff, or, you know, winter's always coming.
It doesn't matter how warm it is right now.
Yeah, it's supposed to get into the 80s next week, and I'm gonna die. But smaller, quick projects. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, I was gonna say on that weather front, you were saying it was cold yesterday.
I was saying it was cold yesterday because
Liz to say it's cold means it's cold outside.
Yeah, it I don't think made the high of 61.
Yeah. Did it not make the high of 61? Because that knit night, you were saying it was supposed to be a high of 61 and it still wasn't there yet.
If it did, it was late in the evening, and yeah, it was wet and just cold.
Yes, and for those of you watching around the world, we're talking degrees Fahrenheit, and for those of you watching in cold places in the world and laughing at us right now, for the mountains of North Carolina in June, that is cold. So,
and it was more cold because we had been in the upper 80s just a few days before.
They even said on the news this morning, we're supposed to be in the 80s right now, and we're going to hit a high of 70. So, relatively speaking, we are cold right now. However, what we're talking about knitting with are things that are really for the depths of winter, unless you run super cold all the time. So,
but like they'll be great like if you have to make up hats or cowls or whatever. Mm-hmm. Like quick knits, so you don't have them sitting in your lap for very long.
Yeah. Or, you know, for people who are beginning knitters, this can be a great way to get a sense of accomplishment, because we always say if you want something done fast, bigger needles, bigger yarn. It's not about how fast you knit. Everyone knits at their own speed. That's my take. It's about, bigger needles, bigger yarn. That was your phrase, I feel like.
Yep, bigger needles, bigger yarn, all the day long.
Yeah. So, we have a couple that we pulled out today. Liz, why don't we start on your side of the table?
Okay.
Because I'm going to just throw you under the bus here.
I'm going to hope I don't lose a stitch mark, but that's okay. We'll deal with it
recover.
Later.
Put the masks on and...
I picked out Cocoknits, Cocoknits.
We're talking about Cocoknits later. You can't see them because they're underneath here, but...
Berroco...
Cut that in half.
Coco.
Yes.
Is, we have this gorgeous hat. It's like... It's not exactly a seed stitch, is it?
It's a modified seed stitch. It's just a fun pattern. I'm going to try to get this up to the camera. So, yeah, cool. There we go.
And, this actually says you can wash it. Delicate cycle.
Mm-hmm. It's a superwash wool
in a bag.
It's a superwash merino, actually.
it's
I would be careful with it.
Squishy, but it does say you can wash it. 100% superwash wool. It is recommending a 15 for a needle size. Crochet size would be a P hook. Super bulky. How many yards? I'm trying to find the. Oh, there it is. You get 77 yards per ball.
So the yard, super bulky. You'll find a lot of yarns that fit into the category of super bulky that will be thicker or thinner. There's a range. It's not like all super bulkies are exactly the same thickness.
We have super bulkies that are like almost 100
yards.
This
one's, the other one we're talking about. Yeah. So there's going to be differences, but this one has 77.
77 yards per ball, and we're selling it for $21.95.
Keep going, because I realized those patterns, I need to look up what they are, and I don't know where my phone is.
And we have some super cool colors like this. You can't see the cowl, but this one is just a rectangle. Starts here, wraps all the way around, however long you want it, and then you just sew up the short side to the long side. So you get this nifty triangle quick cowl. I want to say it does, because it's super bulky on, big needles, quick. We have the blues and greens and a little bit of purples.
Really fun
we have
colors.
Some of the most awesome. This one looks like spring. This is some little bit of dark and broody, but still pops. Really bright. The neutrals. More semi-neutrals with some pops of orange. So yeah, we've got some fun colors in that. And
it's multicolored, so it's going to add, like, I've had the whole thing about busy yarn, simple pattern, simple yarn, busy pattern. So these patterns, there's a little bit of texture in both of those, but you can pick something really simple and it will look even more exciting and fun and crazy and awesome because there's all this texture to it. Okay, I found one of those.
Okay.
The cowl is the Color Me Cozy cowl. It only takes one skein. Both of those are one skein projects. Although I've had people make the hat and they ran just short. They ran just short of. So that one it's variable. If you can get a whole hat out of one skein, again that's 77 yards. The cowl is definitely a one skein project. Color Me Cozy by Diane Augustin, and she wrote it specifically for that yarn, which is really fun. So, and of course, it's making
the 77 yards in the hat will get you just like a stocking cap.
Not a slouchy hat.
Not a slouchy hat.
Not Mm-hmm. I'm seeing. I'm gonna just. I don't want to waste too much of our time here, but I might see if I can go back and find it. If I can't find it soon, I think it might have been a free pattern. I want to say that hat. It was a free pattern. But it was a free pattern if you signed up for her newsletter. So there was like a caveat. So free, but, Ravelry has redesigned their website, which I'm scrolling through on my phone, and it looks great. Everyone's kind of like, I have to get used to it. It looks great. Things are redesigned a little bit for the phone. I just haven't tagged my stuff well. What would have helped to find this is if I was actually tracking my projects on Ravelry, which I haven't really had the time and energy to do. So
every once in a while I post my projects on Ravelry, but with 100 projects on needles, I don't.
I'm gonna do one more thing. Nope. It's gonna have me search by. That's gonna take me way too long. So I will find out what the hat was and put it in the description I'm going to put on this video. But the Color Me Cozy cowl. Awesome. Quick Christmas present. Make them in different colors for different people. The one Liz showed you is the most muted of the colorways that we have. It's really pretty. And
this one would be very
that would be good
muted
for a guy,
with
right?
a little bit of little pops of color and
it'd be really cool.
Yeah.
So, the other yarn that we picked out is the Wool Addicts Fire. You can kind of see the label here. Wool Addicts Fire. So Wool Addicts is a line that was put out by Lang Yarns. It's like there's one of their offshoots. They're like cool, hip, for advertising to the younger crowd, but it's really for everybody. It's kind of like, my analogy is it's kind of like the Saturn to GM, you know. It's the same parent company, but they have their own brand. My car, which is a Scion, was an offshoot of Toyota. All of those offshoots have kind of evaporated. But this is still here. Awesome. We've talked about some Wool Addicts yarn before. We talked about the Wool Addicts, again, that's the brand name, yarn that was Happiness, which was actually cotton, no wool in it. So this is wool. Liz, why don't you read what is in this yarn?
It is 98% merino wool with 2% polyester. Mm-hmm. You get 75 meters per 100 grams.
Lang is a German yarn company, so there you're going to use meters instead of yards. My general rule of thumb is you add about 10%. So it's going to be closer to 80 or 80, 90-ish yards.
Yeah.
Okay.
I made a sweater out of this, and I will bring it in for a future VSC. I did it on size 15 needles. This recommends a 9mm needle, which is 13.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Again, they're going to have the millimeters instead of the US sizes, but we can help you translate that. So, yep. This is one of the projects I made with it. It's off camera, but here's this lovely. They have lovely like neutral tones, and then they add pops of color every season. So Liz is holding one of the pops of color. It's this lovely dark green. That's a new season color.
It kind of looks brighter than it's showing up on camera.
Yeah. I find the camera, be it the iPhone or video cameras, they will either darken things down or cool things off, or take our word for it. So the neutrals, we've got the neutrals in here. This is what we call off black. So it's not total black to knit with. We've got a really great charcoal. We have a lighter gray. And these are all slightly heathery, just mildly. We've got a really nice taupe. We have a white. It's really cream. It's hard when you're dealing with natural, unless they're gonna super bleach it to have a white that is really white. It's gonna be a little natural creamy. We've got a wonderful, luscious, warm brown. We have a steel blue. We have the coral I'm about to show you, knit up. We have a wonderful kind of that mustard golden yellow. It's been very popular lately. And this super dark, it's like a purple burgundy. Really hard to show off the gray color of this.
Just like the green, it shows off even darker than it.
Piling stuff in. So two things. The first thing I made out of this, it is so soft. Unbelievably soft. It's superwash merino again. So technically it is machine washable. But, to really preserve this loveliness, I would take care of it as delicately as you can. So this was in their pattern book. This is supposed to be a headband. Now you might be saying, huh? That's a little big. This is my great example of testing your gauge, because I actually used a size 11 needle, I want to say, on this. It says here that the tag that my summer intern did says use a size 11. And I love cables, so I wanted to show off cables. And I said, I'm just going to grab needles and go. Why not? What could go wrong? And I followed the pattern exactly as written. And as I was doing it, I said, I think this is coming out bigger than the picture I'm seeing in the pattern. But I just kept going. And it's supposed to be a headband.
And now it's a super short cowl.
It's a little teeny tiny cowl. Test your gauge. But this was a one skein project, which is great. If it actually would fit my head, it would definitely be a one skein project. It was super easy. It was knitting back and forth. So someone who is learning cables could totally do this. This was in their book, which we might still have in the shop, but you can find it on Ravelry as well. It's called the Easy Cable Headband. I could try to put the link in the comments, in the description. Lovely, lovely. And then there was this really cool hat that came out that was done in a totally different yarn. And I saw the colors that we had. This was like the Indian corn hat.
Mm-hmm.
I saw the colors that we had in Lang and went, oh my gosh, this would be amazing. It's kind of an expensive hat if you're going to buy all the balls of yarn that are needed for it, because you're not going to use whole balls of, like, this has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 colors in it. And you don't need whole balls of any of them to finish this hat. But it shows off the beautiful colors and how they can go with each other. We may still have a couple of kits for this hat. I want to say the kits ran at least $50, but I'd have to check that. Did we say how much these were per ball?
We did not.
I can't remember.
No, I don't remember. They are $26.95.
$26.95. Really wonderful, high quality superwash merino yarn, and that's why one ball will be that much. They're just, the colors are gorgeous. You can go to Wool Addicts online and see some of the really lovely patterns and things they've made out of them. They've made whole sweaters. I can't imagine how much that would cost. If you have the budget for it and want to make a whole sweater out of it, awesome. And like, you're making one, right?
I've made one, and I have one more left that I'm mixing with Wool Addicts and the Marisol Super Chunky.
How many?
I want to say I crop mine. So like it's long sleeved, but it's not more than like here on me. So it's super cropped because of my dresses and stuff. And I want to say it took 5 or 6 balls.
Okay.
Just
so
because.
Yeah, keep that in mind.
Yeah, and I did a contrast. Like, you know, we didn't have enough of one color.
Having at the time what we have in stock, right? But simple one skein projects are super awesome with bulky yarn. They get finished quickly.
Yeah.
Love it. So yay. I'm just feeling this and going, I wish it was cold enough to wear stuff like this.
I know. It's just cuddly.
Work ahead on Christmas presents. That's what we all can be doing right now. Okay, so what we are showing off for a notion today, and there we go. I gotta turn it away from the glare of the sun. Are Cocoknits Stitch Stoppers. We have them in colorful, in neutral, and jumbo for the bulky knits like this, right? So what are stitch stoppers? Here, why don't you take colorful and normal sizes, and I will take, and I'm going to give you these. Okay. I'm going to take the neutrals. So what they are is they are little foam guys. And the packs come with all different colors. The neutral ones have all different shades of gray. She's got the better idea there. Just got to tip it so
bright ones.
Colors. Okay, let me see if I can do
And
this
you get several sizes in a box, except for the jumbo.
Do you want to, there's different sizes in the jumbo too. Do you want to read the front of your box?
I can read the front of my box.
I don't have all of the colors here for the neutral. If you don't like, if you want to keep it things like very muted, the neutrals are different shades of gray. Go ahead.
It says colorful stitch stoppers accommodate needle sizes 0 to 15. You get 4 of 6 sizes, 24 pieces made of foam, EVA foam. And
so the some of them will have little inserts that are going to get popped out. But you find the size that's going to work for your needles. So like I've got size 4 needles here. I just tossed size 9 needles over at Liz. And they will fit into different stitch stoppers. What I like about these is, I don't know, was there anything fun on the back of there? That's
the back. I've never read the box. I was sold, but I've never read the box. Like I'm like, ooh, stitch stoppers, I need those. It says keep your stitches on your needles with these little foam stoppers. Designed by knitters for knitters, pliable EVA foam allows stoppers to slide all the way down your needle to hold stitches while you are on the move or trying on your top-down knitted garments. Use stitch stoppers to turn any double point or circular needle or straight needles into a stitch holder.
Ooh.
Well, it doesn't say straight needles, but...
my favorite stitch holders are like cables, right? So they're flexible, and so you can turn your circular needles into stitch holders. So traditional stitch stoppers. That's fine.
My project.
Traditional stitch stoppers are they're like little nubbies or little triangles that just go on the end, and they stay right on the end, and sometimes they can fall off. So these, I just found the second size in, and you won't even see it. A little piece of foam came out when I put it in here, but I can slide them. What I like about these is they'll go past the tip, and they expand to take on the circumference of this, and they will stay there. I can really be like, "Rah!" It's still there. Whereas other ones, when they're in your bag and they're just the little ones that sit on the top, can pop off. People have different amounts of luck with different type of stitch stoppers. I like these a lot.
So I skewered my marshmallows. The mini ones protect the points. So like if you were using double points and doing bumper knitting, as we call it, where you didn't want something pokey, these go down just a little bit further, slide it off a little bit. The jumbo ones will slide on there, but the medium size
all different
stays
colors
pretty.
For different sizes.
We did have a knitter who has one of those flags, the flag stands out in her front yard with the decorative flags, and the flag kept blowing off, and she took the largest size out of her stitch.
That's cool.
And stuck it on there, and she hasn't had a problem since. So they're multifunctional.
Here, if you can see, the one that is over here is the one I just put on my needle, and the one that is by my thumb still has its little insert in it. And you can see the hole's a little bigger now. Now, some people have said these can stretch out a little bit. Sometimes it depends on how long they're on your needles and how big a size you put into it compared to how big it is. It might get stretched out. So I recommend really gauging which size you want to use and not putting one too small on a needle too big. Like I just did the math on my phone, which is my calculator. If it's meant to fit a size 0 through 15, and there's 6 sizes, mathematically, about every 2 to 3 sizes you should go up. There should be one for every 2 to 3 sizes. Now, as you get bigger, like once you get past like a size 10 needle, they start getting bigger faster. So just keep that in mind. I got a fuzzy on my face. Anyway, so that could lead to them overstretching. Try to make sure you're matching them up with what size needle you're using.
I find they're the same kind of stuff that earplugs. The little foamy earplugs where you can twist them down. Eventually they're going to lose their shape, but it's kind of the same the same stuff. They'll last for.
So yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't mean she hadn't finished her sentence.
I'm done.
So well, this is me all the time. I'm so excited. And then wait, I'm cutting people off. Crap. So the regular sizes go up to a size 15.
Can I see the package and I'll read what size it's the jumbo? Oh, you have your hands full.
That's okay. But we all do big knitting now. Some of this you could do up to a size 15. But now people are doing super big, super chunky knitting. So we have the jumbos, which are in a whole different cool color palette. I just lost one. You can still see it on camera. So go ahead.
They're good for a 15 to a 19 needle. You get 4 of 3 sizes, 12 pieces.
I brought a 15 over. So that means, okay, we've got pink would be for a 15. But 15 to 19 means each one of these gets one size needle. 15, 17, 19. And can you see that whole center pops out? So, Liz, I'm gonna let you try a 15 out on that.
Okay. I bet. Now, if you just stick it on, that's as far. But to get it to stop, just mash it down, and it's not really.
It's
going
still
anywhere.
over the tip, and it's still keeping it from falling off. Again, going all the way over the tip.
It mashes down tinier on the 15.
So here's a 19. Pop out the center. Look at that.
For a snug fit, if you wanted a looser fit, go up a color.
Yeah. So, You want to see what
I
it's
wanna
like
see what
putting
it looks like.
putting the 17 on the 15?
It slides a little bit, but it's still got enough grip that.
So it could
Yeah.
keep it alive for longer, you
Yeah.
know, if that works for you. But this is it on a 19.
Yep.
That works. So we have all of those in stock in the shop now. The colorful tend to be the most, of the regular size, tend to be the most popular. We have ordered a bunch of those. So if they're not already on our website, I will work to get all of those up on our website. So fun things to do, quick knits, stuff like that. We're gonna take off now because I have one of my appointments for outside with masks, one-on-one appointments for help with a project. Should be coming in a few minutes, and I want to get this going. So hopefully, maybe it could load before we go home today.
That would be cool.
Yes, and here's my mask. Aha. So we love y'all. We miss you. We hope you're enjoying stuff. Let us know if that baby yarn thing is something you'd be interested in, because we have fiber spates coming, but we could hold off to talk about baby stuff because baby stuff's fun. It's the time of year for baby stuff.
I have other ideas. I just haven't told her yet.
Oh boy. Anyway.
On that note, I will get ready for work.
Oh, I'm still getting used to how this works with the ribbons. That side's just not. She's already done. I shouldn't have untied mine. I gotta. Y'all don't want to watch me too.
Hers is a little bit more complicated because we swapped out elastics for ribbon.
Yeah, and they're not really sewn in yet. And I'm just gonna go stop the camera and.
Bye.
Keep waving, Liv. Keep waving. Keep waving.